Well, firstly, how's the past week or so been? How challenging has it been as a manager?
I wouldn't say it's been challenging. It's been things that I used to really with different challenges that I had when I was at Cardiff with regards to the COVID situation and kind of being in a pandemic. So I've just kind of, we have just got on with it as trying to treat it as normal as we can within the protocols that we got. So lads are trained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off yesterday, then in today. So it's been a decent week training wise.
I was going to ask how the week has worked, because when did you know that Orient was going to be gone? Have you been training since, or have you been sort of...
Yeah. So leading up to Leyton Orient, we had it confirmed with regards to our testing that it was going to be called off on Christmas Day. So we kind of knew late Christmas Day, hence we didn't release till Boxing Day, I believe, with regards to the information. But we were still trying to tie up a few things because obviously EFL and us, it being Christmas Day, was we had to tie a few things up both sides. But we were obviously disappointed for the game to be off through COVID, illness, injuries, and hopefully, as long as we come back clear this morning, we'll be fine to go tomorrow.
How many players have had it?
I've lost count. I've lost count on it because it's we've got lads who have had contacts, lads who have had it, some lads have been symptomatic, some haven't been symptomatic, some have just had illnesses, some have had injuries. So I lost count.
So the process is you'll know later before training that you've got enough to...
As far as I'm aware, we cleared Wednesday. So in my eyes, we're still cracking on as normal for tomorrow and preparing like we do prepare for every game.
In terms of numbers, have you roughly... how many did you have on Wednesday that were...
Well, we had quite a few of the youth team lads training with us. So we stepped up. Sonny Lewis, who's been terrific, and Aaron Livermore has been great. Harrison Bright as well. So they've trained with us along with Joe Woodowis and a few others. So we managed to train with 20 on Wednesday. There was one or two others in that as well, youth team and development lads. But we just got to get on with it in as best as we possibly can.
Is it fair to assume that? Well, I don't know. Might it be a case of a young bench, or is that the way it might be, or
potentially? Yeah, potentially.
From getting the names of who's had it and all that, I presume Alex Fisher and Lewis Collins, they're back out, aren't they?
They're back in. They've trained this week. So Priestley, Fish, and Lewis are all back.
Okay, is Priestley near to?
Priestley's near. Yeah, okay. Priestley's close. So it's really, he's had a bit of a tough time through injury, then through contracting COVID, but he's come back and he's. I think we've got a real chance of developing a good player there. I really like Priestley.
What is it? All you've seen of him is presumably from the end of last season or whatever. But what is it you like about him?
So in training, first of all, around the building, he's a terrific lad. He's very humble, very welcoming, very polite and well mannered. And then when he's on the pitch, he's an athlete. I see him as someone with athletic prowess that can play in this division, and we can help develop him by developing his ball carrying qualities. And you've got Wayne, who's played the same position as Priestley, albeit on Wayne's left-sided, but Priestley's right-sided. But you've got an opportunity to develop a young player that's come through the Welsh Premier League.
Is it that side of things that I've been rude to him? It's the on-the-ball stuff that's the work-ons for him?
No, not particularly. It's everything that's all-round. Same with every other player that we've got. It's that all-round, that 360 approach that we look at really is. It's not just what we do with the ball, it's also what we do without the ball. So it'll be both elements of it.
A bit more defensive cover, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It pleases me that Priestley's back for that cover element.
Another one, Scott Bennett. He was injured, wasn't he, for Rochdale?
Yes.
Is he back in the mix?
Yeah, he's back fit. So as long as he gets through today, He picked a slight niggle up in training. So we were very protective of him because we obviously, with the injury history that he's had at recent times, that we protected him, which is the right thing to do. So he'll be available for Saturday.
Finally, on this COVID side of things, you worry, obviously it's down to health and all that side of things, but you don't want to be playing catch up with too many games, do you? Nobody does. It's postponing. Just getting games done is important as well, isn't it? To not have 3 games a week in the running, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, we just got to get on with it, and we're paid to do a job, ultimately. And if I want the game to be on Saturday, I wanted the game to be on against Forest Green. I wanted it to be on against Leyton Orient because, one, it's the festive period, and if we did have fans in, then it would have been an amazing atmosphere. But unfortunately, we weren't able to have that. With regards to longer term, I think that if it's a cluster of games that we've got to play a cluster of games. This is, I suppose, my only request would be to the EFL would be about the opportunity of playing 5 subs. I keep saying it every week. I said it about the Papa John's Cup, about being able to utilise 5 subs in that to be able to give our young developing players a great opportunity to play. But also now, if we can go back to 9 and use 5, or whether it's 7 and 5, I think something that we really need to look at and consider as the governing body, as the Football League, need to look at.
And also, they've had a tough time through. Not, I think it's December the 11th, their last game,
so their last game was Colchester, where they beat Colchester 3-0. So they've not played since the 11th. So obviously, the long as things go ahead tomorrow, they'll play us. They've had a long period of time off. I don't know their current situation with injuries and the current COVID situation either. So we'll just prepare as we always do and review their last games as we do as a staff, and we'll just take it from there.
What sort of a side do you think they are? What are you expecting from them?
I think they're a strong, physical, counter-attacking team that have an ability to take the ball and play through lines when they want to. A strong attacking threat on their back line, on their front line, which we're going to have to be able to deal with, which we'll prepare as best we can to do that.
See, Labs missed the game at Rodney Parade through suspension. I presume he's not suspended again. But what if he's in their side? What sort of a challenge does he present?
I suppose it's like in all League Two. Every team possess the same challenges, where you've got physical players who can cope with the demands of the league. You've got technical players who can open up pockets of space and break lines. And Labs fits into a different category of being able to be industrious in what he does, and he had a terrific time at Newport with what he did. But we've got to focus on Walsall as a collective, not just on Josh Labadie.
Nicely swerved. Finally from me, in terms of you probably have a big away contingent. What will that be like? Is that they're obviously not able to come to the Salford game in a week's time? I'd imagine a fair few of them will be making that New Year's Day trip. How good will it be to have them back in it? Yeah,
well, we're hoping we get 1,000 there, because I think we travel really well, especially in the local areas. And I class Walsall as local, really, compared to travelling distance that we're used to. The fans always give us an extra edge away from home, which is needed. And we're going to need that. We're going to need that drive, that push forward from them to help us get through a tough game tomorrow.
Good stuff. Hopefully see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Sure we will.
Cheers.
Morning, James. It's Sean here from BBC Sport. How are you? You okay?
Hi, Sean. I'm good. Thanks. You?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. Really good. Chris might have covered this at the start of the interview, but just wanted to get it from you. I suppose how frustrating in the last couple of weeks been without a game to play, and how much are you and the players looking forward to tomorrow, all being well, the game goes ahead?
Yeah, I can't get frustrated with it because we've got a job to do. We're in a fortunate position where we're paid to do a job that we love, and we have to adapt to different situations that come our way. So we'll adapt all the time. It's a fluid situation. It's ever evolving situation. I think we're dealing with it pretty well. We've got an excellent medical team that cover the protocols that we need to, and I've got an excellent staff with me to ensure that we prepare as best we possibly can.
And Chris touched upon it there about the fact that you'll have an away contingent there tomorrow, which will be great, as you say, for you and the players. But is how difficult is that going to be, do you think, playing in front of no crowds potentially in that game against Salford and potentially more after that? Obviously, I appreciate tomorrow as your immediate focus, but surely that's going to be a huge disadvantage to a club like Newport where you have such a vociferous crowd at Rodney Parade behind you.
Well, Newport have done it before and they've done it behind closed doors and they've had good success. I've been involved in it at Cardiff heavily when Neil Harris was in charge and when Mick was in charge. So it's kind of a thing where, I go back to it, we're paid to do a job. Our job is to ultimately win football matches, and we've got to find the best way to do that with crowds, without crowds, with little crowds, whatever it might be. We'll just drive that forward and keep doing it.
And I suppose because Walsall have played, it's been a longer period for Walsall than yourself for playing match, admittedly only a week. Do you think there's any advantage to be gained in that for you, for the fact that you might have played a game a bit more recently, or maybe it's more of an advantage for them because they've had a bit of more time to rest and regroup?
I don't really know. I think in football it's a funny old game and different things happen at different points. Obviously, we played a week later, so we've had that period of time, but it gives us all a chance to prepare as best we can for the games. But I don't really think into it too much with regards to who's played earlier, if you like, and who's played later.
And just the last one from me, reflecting on 2021 for yourself, obviously a huge year where you've gone from your job at Cardiff City to becoming manager of Newport County. I mean, how do you reflect on the last few years, particularly the last few months, and what are your hopes for yourself and the club going into 2022?
I think for me personally, it's been a year of progression, which I wanted, which I've been craving for in many ways, to go and be able to be my own person, if you like, in the sense of being a manager and being able to do the things I want to do and implement the things I want with a good team behind me to drive that forward. And then my aspirations or our aspirations as for myself and the football club, it's about progression. We need to progress as best as we possibly can within the resources we got, and that's what we'll do. And I keep saying it to the players that it's a cliche thing. It's game to game as well for me right now, and the focus will be on Walsall.
Fantastic. All the best tomorrow, mate.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Morning, James. I just wondered, you've also been cutting your teeth in the management game in the last couple of months, and you've had some real frustrations to deal with. But now you've got one of the biggest things to deal with, which is a transfer window.
Yeah,
looking forward to it. Are you good on transfer on the manager game on the Xbox, or how do you?
I don't know. I've never played it, Rob, so I wouldn't know.
So how are you viewing this month coming up? I mean, how difficult is that going to be, or do you just plough on and let someone else do it for you?
No, it's a collective approach where I'm lucky that I've got a very good sporting director in Darren Kelly who takes a lot of things off me in regards to dealing with agents, dealing with certain elements that allows me to focus on the team, which is the whole point of why Darren is here, to add that side to it for me, to support me. He's done that extremely well already in the last couple of weeks for us. Long may that continue. We've got a very supportive board in what we're trying to do. But also we have to be mindful right now as well that we don't know where we're at with the current COVID situation, and that obviously is a little bit of a cloud over us right now, and we have to be conscious of the fact of that we haven't got any crowds coming in a period of time we don't know how long for. So we have to be mindful of that I've said it before, the likelihood that we're going to have to get players out to get players in. So yeah, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, the COVID situation last January almost tipped Newport over the edge. I mean, your predecessor had to make 12 changes, I think, in January. It was a terrible month for him. You don't have as many players in on loan, but is there any indication as to your three midfield youngsters, whether they're going to stay, go, or whatever?
As far as I'm aware, the information we've had from the parent clubs is that they're very happy with what we're doing with them as a football club and a staff, and how we're trying to develop them. So I'm hoping there'll be no issues there.
And will the lack of crowds and the gate receipts have an impact on your ability within the market for the month or not?
It's a really tricky one to answer, because we don't know where we're going to be at with regards to where Welsh Government are at with us. Yeah. On that side of it, the chairman, Gavin, tends to deal with that, and he's the one with the expertise on it, and I'll follow his lead as we do as a football club and the board. I'm pretty confident where we're at. Obviously, we want to do some business in January, but also I have to be conscious of the fact is that we have to balance the books as well. And I'm not going to put this football club in any sort of difficult situation.